absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Facer Hill Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Big Glenn. How's it going, guys?
I'm going pretty good. Yeah, going pretty well. Guys, we'll jump
Going
right
good
in.
over here. Going good over here. Are you locked up there? Up there, guy for football for the next 8 years or something like that?
Yep. Yeah, IU's doing great. Colts are doing great. Reds actually made it to the playoffs. Didn't go further, but they made it. That's a good first step. So things are going good for us.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a year for our teams, man. Patience made the finals.
Yep.
An Achilles short, obviously, with that injury, but you can't get any close to winning that without actually winning it. Then other stuff, or Rumble,
Yep. Great little Rumble.
Yeah.
Fever did a great job, all things considered. And whether you're a fan or not, they are in Indiana. Purdue, #1 ranked team in the country in basketball.
Yep, came out this morning.
So, guys, let's jump into some wrestling. I'm going to start off real quick with a brief TNA Bound for Glory review. I watched it on Sunday night. Pretty good show. And one match we'll be talking about a little bit later. And it's one I'm going to mention right now. I'm not going to go deep into it. I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. Leon Slater versus Javon Evans for the X Division Championship. Real good match. A lot of people didn't like the finish. We'll discuss that. But some people thought that it was possibly could have been heading towards match of the year. So we'll talk about that. The other big match, one of the other big matches on the card was the Hardys versus Team 3D in a tables match for the NXT and TNA Tag Team Championships. Thought it was a solid match. Thought Jeff Hardy's trying to kill himself jumping off that big ladder, and
I saw that.
Looked like to me he hit his back of his head on the ladder. The way that thing set up, but it was a good match. It was a storytelling match. It was what it should be with these guys all in their 50s. But it was very enjoyable. The crowd loved it. The crowd was into it. So I thought it was pretty well done. Next up, the big match was Mike Santana versus Trick Williams for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. Trick Williams was the champion. Mike Santana gets the win. I think it's the right call. I think he's the right guy to lead TNA. So pretty enjoyable show. They had the biggest crowd they've had in North America. I think they was just around 7,600 people. So it did very well. I think this partnership with NXT is working pretty well for both sides. But I think it's actually maybe working a little bit better for TNA, especially if they get that TV deal that they're trying to get. So I think something will be announced around the first of the year for that. I think that's what they're waiting on. I think they said it's at the lawyer stage now. They're getting everything worked out. So I think it's basically just basically getting it on paper. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Next thing up, let's do WWE Crown Jewel. We'll talk a little bit about that. Pretty good show. I really enjoyed the show. Some interesting things happened. The first one was in the Bronson Reed Roman Reigns match, Australian street fight. Bronson Reed gets the win. And guys, in the last 5 years, he's only the second guy to pin in a singles match to pin Roman Reigns. The other one being Cody. The only other person was Jey Uso in a tag team match. So, and that wasn't a singles, of course, it was tag. So, you guys thought. Hey, brother.
I got a question for you, Tony.
Yep.
Did Roman really say, "I don't want to see y'all for Christmas"?
Yes, he did.
I saw something about it.
We'll get to that. I knew Ace Frehley was in bad shape. He passed him. Yeah, that sucks. He was just here in Indiana about a year ago performing.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Couple,
Anderson,
couple different places. Did Kokomo maybe a little over a year ago for free, and then did some another place too. But he's been around. Yeah, guys. Let's go back to the match here. I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Um, I think it was the right move, especially with some of the things that happened later on. But Bronson Reed is definitely getting the rub, and I think that's what Roman Reigns' job is, unless he's going to be around for a while for a story, which I think is going to come. I think he's going to be around for a little while. So I think they got a story planned. But you guys' thoughts, if you got to see the match, what's your thoughts on the match? And Roman did tell them to stay back, don't interfere in the match. And they came down and tried to help. And Jey Uso accidentally speared Roman into the table and cost Roman the match. And Roman was pretty upset. Told me didn't want to see him till Christmas. and started walking up the ramp. And the thing he's saying is that they don't understand that people don't believe that he can win on his own. And he wants to prove people wrong. So I thought that was interesting. Your thoughts, Big Glenn?
great match. Right call. I love the bit of not wanting to see him till the Usos until Christmas. So I'd hate to be around that family at Thanksgiving if that's the case. So
Yeah. Chris, did you get to see any of that match?
No, I didn't see any of that one.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was well done. And we had talked before, we thought Bronson needed to win, but really, I don't think most of us thought that they would let Bronson win.
Yeah, I was surprised that he won. I told you I felt like he needed to win, but I didn't think they'd pull the trigger on it. So yeah, it definitely surprised me when Sunday when I talked to you either I can't remember if it was Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You said that that Bronson won. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't either. So, and the crowd really loved that match, so I thought it was pretty well done. Next up, Stephanie Vaquer beat Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. So, not a real long match, about 10, 11 minutes. I thought it should have been longer. I'd like to see them go 14, 15. But I did hear there's rumors that Tiffany Stratton was under the weather, and they basically just got in, did the job, and went on. But I thought it was a solid match. I enjoyed it. I know Big Glenn's excited because I know he's a huge Stephanie Vaquer fan. I am too. I think they're pushing her to the moon. And in less than a year, she's won 4 titles. So in about a year's time, she's won 4 titles. So you got to give her some credit. Big Glenn, your thoughts?
Stephanie could do no wrong in my eye, obviously. So that was freaking amazing. She's actually, of all the posters and stuff that I got, the one for WrestlePalooza with the rematch, piece of the rematch is going to be the next thing to go on my wall. So yeah, amazing match. I heard about the Tiffany situation. Hope she gets better and stuff like that.
Yep. Chris, I don't know if you've seen any of this match, but your thoughts on Stephanie Vaquer beating Tiffany Stratton?
I'm glad they finally done it because I told you I thought she was. I actually predicted she was going to win. I think you and Marcus both went with Stratton, if I remember right, on Thursday's show.
We may have.
I was glad they'd done it though, but they've been putting her in matches with like Becky, and she's been like losing. They never. So I was glad they finally pulled that trigger on it.
Yeah. Next up, guys. A lot of people calling it the match of the year. Dave LaGreca said it may have been a match of the decade. It was John Cena versus AJ Styles. John Cena won the match. A lot of people said it was basically a love letter to professional wrestling. These guys went out there and put on a show. Cena did probably 10 or 12 different people's finishers. It was very well done. It was fun. That was the main thing. It was just fun. They didn't take themselves too serious. They just went out there and went to war for about 30 minutes. And I thought it was really good. Match of the year. It just depends what you like, but it was very good. It was an A in my book. Big Glenn, your thoughts?
As good as this match was, this definitely should have been main event, but can't complain. It was definitely match that night. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on Cena beating Styles?
I haven't seen the whole match. I've seen some like highlights and some parts of it. Well, it's all of it I really liked. I'm gonna go back and watch the whole match, but I don't think it really mattered who won.
Yeah.
Who won with them guys. But what I saw of, I really enjoyed. Not like you said, they were having fun, and the crowd was eating it up.
You know, one of the coolest things that happened was John Cena before the match handed the announcer that was announcing, you know, the wrestlers did Cena, and then they was going to do AJ, and handed her a piece of paper, and he had wrote out the introduction for AJ, and it was pretty cool. I caught AJ off guard. I mean, it wasn't something that AJ knew about, and I thought that was pretty cool, and the crowd loved it too. So I thought that was well done. Yeah, I think I seen an article today that AJ is definitely going to retire in 2026, and WWE's already making big plans to make that a big splash too. So I think that's cool.
You think
I wish they would have had him come out to his old TNA thing.
Do you think AJ Styles, when he retires, will stay on with WWE as an agent or as a trainer or as something like that?
He has said that he would like to, and I think he lives in Georgia, which is not that far from Florida. I think he's very interested in doing that. He said that before, that he wanted to. I think he's really interested in NXT.
Yeah, I can see him doing JB Noble stuff, like, you know, back when he used to do the agents and stuff like that. He break people up and shit like that. You know.
Yeah. Next up, really, really good tag match. Crowd was hot for it because Rhea Ripley was in it, of course, when they was in Australia. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley beat the Kabuki Warriors. I thought this was a very good match too. B+ or A. The crowd was going crazy. I thought all four wrestlers put on a show. I think Asuka's doing some of her best work, and I think it's actually starting to. Guys, gonna have to help me with her name. I can't think of her name right now. Not Io, but the other Kairi. It's really looks like to me it's starting to rub off on Kairi, and I think she's going to get elevated from this. I think that's what their plan is, and I think she's going to get elevated to the next level. So, I mean, Io's already there, Rhea's there, Asuka's been there, so I think that's kind of their job to elevate her. You guys' thoughts, Chris? Your thoughts on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley winning this match?
It kind of surprised me a little bit. I was hoping they'd win because I'm a big Rhea fan, but kind of surprised me because I thought they would keep it on the Kabuki Warriors would win. But no, I'm glad they won, but it was a little bit of a surprise to me because with the storyline they had going, I was just thinking the Kabuki Warriors was probably going to win the match.
Big Glenn.
Great match. If you have, with Rhea being from Australia, you really can't have her go all the way back home to the land of down under just to have her lose.
A lot of times they do. A lot of times they do that. A lot of times they lose in their
Yeah,
hometown.
I know they use it, but this is a situation where I don't think you want to do that. Like Rich from Raw, yeah, that dude couldn't lose like freaking.
You could have had a riot.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't give a shit. So Rhea's a different situation, you know. So
That's true. That's true. Next up, we had the final match of the night. Seth Rollins defeated Cody Rhodes in what was a very good match also. The last three matches on the show were fantastic. I thought this was a really good show. I thought they did a great job. Seth looked good. It looks like Seth got hurt during this match, guys. At least it's what they're saying. Looks like he's going to have surgery. Looks like he's going to be out for a while. And he looks like he did a coast to coast, but not like Bob Van Dam would do or some other wrestlers feet first. He did a headbutt first. And he landed on his shoulder, and it looked like he's either did something with his rotary cuff or his separator shoulder, did some damage to his shoulder, and it looks like he's going to have surgery. So it was nuts. I don't know if you've seen the video of that, but look that up. It was insane. I don't think it's ever been done before. If it has, I've never seen it. But your thoughts?
unless the been matches.
Big Glenn, your thoughts on Seth Rollins getting this win?
Not surprised about the W. Seth doing the move was not smart because especially so much plans are tied to him. I mean, I know WWE can work on the fly, but he's one of the top guys in the business.
Yep.
So sucks to see him get hurt.
Chris, your thoughts?
It didn't surprise me that Rollins won. You almost had to have it. He almost had to win this time because this is what their fourth match, and he had either third or fourth match, and he lost the other one. So he had to win. I do want to watch it. I haven't seen that the movie you were talking about yet, so I want to check that out.
Yeah, it's insane. Next guys up, we're going to do our old school match, and then we'll talk about some stuff that happened with. We're going to talk about a match from Bound for Glory. We're going to talk a little SmackDown, a little bit of Raw, and what's going to happen with the future with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. But we'll end the show with that. So let's go to our old school match, guys. Old school match that Marcus picked, and Marcus had some stuff going on today, so he couldn't make it. It was Sting versus Vader from 1993 Super Brawl 3. It was a strap match. And Chris, your thoughts on this old school 1993 strap match?
I really enjoyed it. One thing I took away from it is I think Vader is underrated on his selling. If you watch this match, both of them did, but he can really sell, and he takes a lot of bumps for a lot of big bumps for a big guy.
Yeah.
Like you don't see a lot of big guys that are willing to take belly to back suplexes and some of the stuff that he was letting Sting do to him, especially back then. I know you might see it a little more now, but back then you didn't see big guys took off their feet like that as often. So yeah, but I thought it was real good. It reminded me of back before they run Sting and it was the good Sting before they run them and turned them into a damn crow and never used them for any fucking thing. But yeah, I mean that was the Sting that I was a fan of was
Surfer Sting.
Yeah, that was the thing I grew up. That was the thing I grew up as a kid. That was one I was a big fan of. I liked what I would have liked the crow thing if they would have done something with it, but they just for so long all he did was stand in the damn rafters in a coat with a baseball bat. And it seemed like he done that for 2 fucking years.
Yeah. Chris, let me ask you this real quick. See if you can remember. I don't remember. I know you was young, but you dressed up for Halloween, and I know you was a 10 or under as Sting, and your brother Jeff dressed up as the Great Muta.
Yeah.
And you guys went trick or treating. Do you remember? Do you think? How old was you about that time?
I would say I'm gonna say probably 8 or 9.
Okay, so probably around that. And Muta and Sting was hot around that time. You're talking about 88, 89, around that time. Yeah. Yeah. I can still remember that. I can remember taking you guys out trick or treating and Muta and Sting. I remember that very well. Yeah, I love the match. I tell you another thing, I thought it was really a physical match. They beat the heck out of each other with that strap.
Yeah.
You look at Vader. Vader was beat to death. He was shredded from that strap. Vader was very underrated. I agree with you, Chris. He's one of the best big men of all time. I remember seeing him before he became Vader. He was Leon Baby Bull White, who had just come out from the Rams, and he was wrestling for AWA. It was the first time I ever seen him. Before he became Big Van Vader. Then it was Big Van Vader, and then it just went to Vader. And he became Big Van Vader in Japan. But I really enjoyed the match. I don't think Vader did very many bad matches, and I don't think Sting did either. And I thought this was really well done. Big Glenn?
Great match. Back and forth. A lot of hard hitting, man. I got to agree with you guys. Vader is a very underrated performer in wrestling history. They could do a moonsault off the top rope, and stuff, man. You don't see 400 guys, do that. Now the Giant did that early in his career, but that wasn't for very long. I think by the time the NWO was going on and stuff, I think he had moved away from doing all that stuff. And Vader did that on the regular in his career. Shit. So, great match all around.
Yeah, would you guys say that Vader's probably the top 5 big guys of all time?
Top 10.
Okay. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he would be top 5.
I mean, of course, you got Andre, just a different level. Um, Let me ask you, which would you guys pick better? Who would be better, Vader, Kevin Nash?
In my opinion, Vader.
In the ring?
Yeah.
As far as ring work, I think it's Vader by far.
It's definitely better. When Diesel his moveset was very limited because of his mobility. You know, that's really from day one. But
yeah,
you know, it just somebody's are able to do certain things, and Diesel being limited and Vader being athletic. You know, it's I would have to put Vader ahead of Diesel in that way, and Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, guys, let's move on to some wrestling happened this week. The first thing I ask you guys to watch, because I really enjoyed this match. I hope you guys got to see it. It was on Bound for Glory. It was Leon Slater versus Javon Evans. It was for the X Division Championship. And both these guys are very similar, about the same age, about 21 years old. And these guys, I thought, put on a show. And I know a lot of people were upset about the ending of the match. We can discuss that. But Big Glenn, if you got to see the match, your thoughts on it?
Good match. I can see where people will be upset, but I don't know here.
Yeah, I understand they got upset, but like Tommy Dreamer, who works for TNA and pretty high up, says that, I think they're building something else. They're building to another match or more matches or storyline. So sometimes you're going to do things, and it got a great reaction. Yeah, was they upset? Yes, but that's not a bad thing with the fans. I mean, if they step silent, then you got a problem. If they react, whether it's booing or cheering, you got something. It's when they don't react is when the issue is. So I didn't. I mean, would I like to see a different finish? Maybe somebody wins. Yeah, maybe, but I didn't have a problem with it. Of course, I've watched wrestling for a long time and used to finishes like that. And I can remember where most matches you watched was disqualification. That's how they got out of it. Always got disqualified because we don't want either guy to lose. So I didn't have a problem.
Today's generation of wrestling fans, they're not long for a good old dusty finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Chris, did you get to check this out?
Yeah, it was really good. Now it's not necessarily my cup of tea because ain't a whole lot of selling going on.
No.
But like action wise and everything, I mean everything that was spot on. I enjoyed watching it, and it's not, like I said, it's not normally my cup of tea because I'm more into the storytelling. This was basically just a fast paced going at it, and I wasn't too much. You didn't really see a whole lot of selling.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed it. Thought it was really good.
And I agree with you, Chris. But what I liked about it was this was the only match on the show that was like that. Yeah. Instead of, and that's kind of my downfall with AEW. All the matches, or most of them, are like that, and I get it gets a little boring for me when it's all like that. WWE does it sometimes too, but they don't do it as much. And TNA in this match, yeah, it was the only match on the show like that. So I really didn't have an issue with it.
Universal saying Rollins and Fatu both had surgery and will be out till at least
right. That would be June.
What'd you say, Glenn?
That would be June. Money in the Bank, right?
Yes, I think June and July. Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I heard Jacob Fatu's injury was a non-wrestling injury. It was something that had to be done that didn't involve him getting hurt in wrestling or anything. Okay, guys.
Universal saying that SmackDown ratings are down just above 1.0, which are all-time lows.
Yeah, it is. For Friday nights is not a good night. I knew when they went away from. It's hard to compare the numbers on SmackDown to what Fox did because Fox is regular TV. So I knew they were going to go down, and they are going further down. Then you've had some playoff baseball and stuff like that. I was shocked today that NXT went up. They went up this week, even compared to last week when they did that show with that TNA special, and they went up this week, and it was up against baseball. So I mean, I was really shocked about that. But yeah, ratings for TV is that's why WWE is a global product. They're doing more views globally than they are in the United States now. It's more of a global product.
He said that Fatu's injury was a car accident.
Okay, I heard it was non-wrestling. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this match with Slater and Evans. I thought they put on a great show. Just right at 27 minutes. So that's one thing I got to say. It sure didn't seem that long. I mean, they really very entertaining. So it didn't seem like a match that dragged or anything. Next up, guys, was SmackDown. Aleister Black defeated Damian Priest in a last man standing match. Wanted to get you guys' thoughts. I enjoyed the match. They did something at the end that hasn't been done a lot recently because that was very old school. Of course, the original Sheik did it. Jerry Lawler did it a lot. There's other wrestlers that what happened there at the end? He threw fire in the face of Damian Priest. What I liked about it is where they did it at. They did it right in front of the fans. Wasn't in the ring. They did it. I mean, and look at the fans' faces when they did it. I thought that was a really cool reaction because he was right there, and I thought it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a real good match as well. I thought that spot was cool. And like I said, like you said, I like where they done it at, the way it was right in front of them. But yeah, I thought it was a real good match.
And I asked both of you this question, and Glenn, you can give your take on the match and answer this question when we get to you. What do you guys think about adding Zelina Vega to Damian Priest? Because it looks like where they're going. Of course, they are married in real life. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move for both of them. I think it's going to help Zelina. And I don't think it hurts. I think it just, to me, I think it may be an FU to Karrion Kross and his wife. We don't need you. We can put these two together. And it almost seems like a slap in the face to me. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't have that take, but I kind of think that a little bit. We don't need you. We don't need to sign you. We got these two right here. So, Chris, what do you think about Zelina? Do you like that being attitude? Does it make a difference? What do you think?
It don't make a big difference to me. But I do think it. I agree with you. I think it'll help. It's going to help her. And it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt Priest at all. And it might help him too. You never know. So yeah, I kind of agree that it's a slap in the face to Kross.
Yeah, I think it is. Big Glenn, your thoughts?
I'm gonna work backwards because I got to get on that. We know how Triple H's mind works, and we watched documentaries between all of us over the years to get an idea of how his mind works. Yeah, that's slap in the face of Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. Which I'm not surprised at the end of the day because that's just who he is. He likes doing funny things like that, similar to how Vince did in a different way. But anyway, adding Zelina and Aleister Black together is great because it adds the dynamic to Zelina Vega that we didn't have before, and it adds that realism to it, with them being married and shit like that. So I think it was interesting how that match ended just because, her coming out, you didn't think that she'd get involved, and she does, and gets with, her husband.
I mean, it was very subtle. I mean, basically, she interrupted the match so he could set up the fire, but it was very subtle. And I'm interested to see where they go with it. And we'll get to this, what Universal's talking about. Well, let's just do it real quick before we get to our last topic with what happened with the Vision on Monday night. Andrade got fired by WWE. The rumors are that it had to do with substance infractions more than once, and they, I think, also had some bad attitude and discipline problems, and they let him go. Well, he went straight over to performed in Mexico at a show, and then he performed on AEW, right? Almost like a week later. And I guess WWE sent a whatever you call it, order saying, cease and desist order, and said no, he's under. And some people, there's been some different thing. I've seen 90 days, which is normal, but they're saying that TKO has a deal where it's 1 year. So I don't know if it's a different type of contract than what they've done in the past, but they're saying he's got a 1 year complete clause. So if that's true, man, that sucks. And for him, and also I can see WWE's look. You had a bad attitude. You wouldn't listen to us. You kept doing stuff, so we fire you. No, we're not going to let you just go anywhere. You're going to do this non-compete clause first. So I understand that. I think maybe they think he was trying to get fired so he could go to AEW, and now they're saying no, that's not going to be that way. So you guys' thoughts on that, real quick? What do you think? I mean, and the other thing is, both of them not knowing the contract. AEW not doing their diligence and knowing what the contract is a big mistake on their part. And also on Andrade, he should know what he signed.
That's what I was going to say. Well, I wouldn't be signing the contract saying that if I get fired and leave here that I can't work for a year. That would, if you want to do like 90 days, something like that. But like, yeah, he should. You would think he would have known that he signed a contract saying that, hey, if I fuck this up, I ain't gonna be working on these other places on TV for a year.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that to me that I think that's a bad contract on his part, or bad signing on his part. Like, I'd be trying to get that way lower than a year.
Oh yeah, and I've never heard of a year before, but it may be something new that they did. Maybe and again, I know Billy Ray has said it's amazing how many wrestlers sign contracts and don't read them. But only thing they look at is how much money am I making? They don't look at all the other stuff. And
yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm thinking maybe TKO put that in his contract because of his recent history of bouncing back and forth, so instead of a 90-day, they threw in a 1 year to make sure that, things are going to go well and he abides by it and stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me, But yeah, it's a crazy situation to say the least.
yeah, he's saying that Andrade asked for his release and they said no. And then he purposely got, it's possible. Possible.
If that ends up being the case, then he's bound by the terms of this contract on his contract end date. So
and see, Universal saying that if you get fired, it's 1 year. If you get released, it's either no days or up to 90 days, depending on what. Firing is a year.
Yeah, I think it depends on if they release you. Or if they just let the contract run out, if they just let the contract run the full thing and runs out, sometimes there's no compete. But if they release you, there's 90 days. I think NXT is a little bit less. I think NXT is only like 30 or 60 days. Yeah, so I know NXT is a little different than in the main roster. Yeah, I mean,
I can see why WWE does that, or I can see why TKO does that. Because if you don't want to be here and you just try to get yourself fired on purpose. So then you wouldn't have, and then you go do whatever. So this way, if you try to get yourself fired on purpose, you can't, ain't gonna be able to work for a year.
Yeah, you're bound to the terms. Pretty much, I would say in a contract. I'm sure if it's 1 year, fire into the year, his contract probably ended at the end of that year. So
I want to get you guys' opinion real quick before we go to this last topic. Ridge Holland wrestled for NXT, been on the main roster too. His contract is getting ready to run out in November, and they wasn't going to re-sign him. Well, but he was wrestling on NXT, and he got hurt. He actually got hurt at TNA. He was working a TNA match, and he got hurt. And so now what they're doing is he'll get paid up to November until his contract runs out, and they're not going to pay him anymore. And they are going to pay for his hospital bills and his rehab. You guys' thoughts on that? Do you think it's unfair? Do you think they should continue to pay him? I mean, or hey, he had a contract. The contract runs out. They had already planned on releasing him. That was pretty. What do you guys think? Do you think that they should continue to pay him? Because they say he's going to be out at least 6 months before he can work again. So, your guys' thoughts?
Ooh, that's hard. It's so kind of deep both ends. But at the end of the day, I think he probably should be at least paid until he's able to work again.
Chris, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah, that's tough. I don't know. You would think they would do something to make sure he was good, but yeah, that's a tough situation.
Yeah. Whatever that, if he has like you know how when they wrestlers do documentaries, they talk like a bottom line deal where they at least get paid that much. I feel like Rich at least get whatever the bottom line deal was, like whatever the minimum was. I think he should at least get that.
I mean, by contract wise, his contract is up November. Let's say November 14th. Let's say that's the day. I know sometime in November. He's going to get paid till then. So, but again, he got hurt working for them. So it should be like at least a workman's comp type thing, but I know it's not that way. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I understand both sides of it. You sign a contract. That's another thing. When you sign a contract, you should know what's in it. I mean, he's complaining about it now, but he should know. What does that contract say?
Because he'd been on NXT for a while, at least since 23, right? Almost 6
Yeah, well, he was on the main roster. He was still getting paid a main roster salary, I think, even though he was in NXT. But it just didn't work. I mean, he just never got over. And like I said, they planned to let his contract run out. He hadn't been on NXT TV hardly at all. He'd been doing house shows, and then he did this thing for TNA. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's a tough situation for him. I don't particularly like it, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, guys, let's move to our last topic. It was on Monday Night Raw. The Vision are done. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed betrayed Seth Rollins. Now, I think this was going to happen at some point. I think it was. Some people said, "Well, they rushed it. Wait, this story should have been going for another 2 years." I don't think it needed to go 2 more years before they turned somebody. I mean, I think that would have been too long. But yeah, I think it had more legs. It could have went. Then I heard other people said this wasn't working. That's why they did it. I think they did it because of the injury to Seth is why they did it. But people have said this wasn't working. Okay, I will say that I don't think Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins was a perfect fit because Seth Rollins don't need somebody to talk for him. So not a perfect fit there. But to say that it didn't help Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker, I completely disagree. Especially Bronson Reed. I think it's elevated him to a new level. And I think it didn't hurt Breaker. And now it looks like they're going to turn Breaker and Reed into maybe the biggest heels in the companies. I thought that eventually, and it still could happen. This could be a couple years down the road that Braun Breaker will be a good guy. So I think right now they're going to go the heel thing first, and we don't know what direction they're going. If Seth is going to be out for, some people said to maybe WrestleMania or after. I mean, that has not been made official. WWE hasn't officially announced that, but it's going to be interesting what they do with Breaker. Are they going to keep Paul Heyman with them? Are they going to add? Some people said they're going to add Lesnar to the group, Brock Lesnar to the group, which I think Lesnar would be okay as like a enforcer type guy, but you don't want to make him the lead. You don't need that. He don't be the main guy. Braun Breaker should be the main guy, in my opinion. But you guys' thoughts on what happened on Monday night, and then we'll talk about where we think this is going. Chris.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I thought the timing of it, was of how it happened was perfect. I don't think they would have done this soon if I think it was because of the injury to Rollins is why they went ahead and pulled the trigger on doing it. But yeah, I thought the segment was well timed. I thought it was well, like it kind of caught you off guard because out of nowhere here was a spear. So like yeah, it was. I enjoyed. I thought it was well done, but it'd be interesting to see where they go with it. But yeah, I think it got sped up some because of the injury to Rollins.
And then people want to say, "Well, I've seen this coming." You may have seen this coming eventually, and you may have thought this was going to happen eventually, but I think anybody that said they knew that was going to happen that night is full of shit. Because the people's reaction in the crowd was unbelievable. They were stunned. I thought it was very well done. Big Lynn?
Yeah. I think the injury had a lot to do with when this got done on Monday morning and everything. It's so well done. Like the camera angle goes wide, then all of a sudden you see Bron Breakker step down off the road. All of a sudden he turns around and wham, you know. There was a Facebook real meme that I shared in our ESPN chat, I think, or it was the rest of the commentaries one. It was like the best TV shows have these crazy endings, and it pauses at the how they have a Seinfeld ending. You know?
Yeah, they're doing very good of putting the credits up and everything, and everybody thinks it's over. I know there was one guy online said, the credits came up, I turned it and then find out that this happened, 10 seconds after they showed the credits, it was a perfect spear. My thing is, if you got a messed up shoulder, what are you doing taking a spear in the big splash from Bronson? Wouldn't that be kind of maybe just a situation you can't hurt it no more?
Yeah,
they probably said he couldn't be hurt no worse, so he just dealt with the pain, a little bit of pain that it was going to be, and to do it.
Guys, where do you think this? I would say Monday night they're going to have to announce something. If he's really having surgery, and he's going to be out for a while, they're going to have to announce a tournament, something to get a new champion. Because the plans was CM Punk was going to have a title match against Seth Rollins on Saturday night's main event on November 1st. So you think maybe they have a tournament to get a number one contender, and maybe on Saturday night's main event crown a new champion? That would be the route I go. I don't know who you put against Punk. Do you have Punk? I mean, to me, do you think the right move is to put it on Breakker? I mean, if you're going to elevate Breakker, is you put him in a match with 3 or 4 guys on Monday night, and then you have him beat CM Punk on Saturday night's main event. What do you guys think?
I would love to see it, but that might be a little bit that's a hair bit too soon. But I'd be interested to see it. That's where I'm getting at.
But who do you? Okay, if you don't put it on Breakker, who do you put it on?
A returning Gunther. That's an easy answer, though. I mean, because
I don't think they would do that. I think. Do you think the best choice is, if not Breakker, you think it's Punk?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would have to be Punk, because I'm not sure if anybody on the Raw roster besides Punk probably keep that belt.
Universal said it's been announced. I haven't seen it yet, but that's very possible.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The reason I think that it's going to be Breakker, the reason I thought so, is because one thing you've seen Breakker do after he did that to CM Punk, he picked up that belt and they held up the belt in the air, and I thought Heyman was excellent during that segment. His facial expressions, he exactly said to him, "What the fuck are you doing?" That's what he said. What he said to Breakker, and then and I love what he said to Bronson Reed. He said, "You're either with me or you're not," and that's basically the same thing that he said to Heyman, but he was a little bit more forceful with Heyman. I don't think Heyman had much choice, so that could be an interesting story where that goes. Chris, your thoughts on this?
I will say we didn't Paul going to the table like the freaking Bloodline did last a year ago, right?
Yep. And Chris, what do you think they're going with this?
I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. I think if you wanted to add, you had said maybe Lesnar, but I think if you want to add somebody to it, why not add Logan Paul? If you really want them guys, because he's a great heel as well, gets a lot of heat. And with the heat that Bronson Reed already and Breakker have, I think you could do something interesting with that.
That would be different. That would be interesting. I wouldn't have issue with that. A lot of people think it's that one guy that's coming back from injury. The one I think. Who'd you say?
Dragunov?
No. The guy's been out for quite a while. He teamed with he was part of the Australian guy down under. Damn it.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. A lot of people think that they're going to strap it to, and I think Austin Theory would be a good fit, other than he'd really been down as luck as of late. So I think he would almost have to come in and prove himself before they put him in the group. I don't know if it fits if just say, okay, we're bringing Austin Theory in, he's in the group. I think you gotta find a way to tie it in, or it don't fit. For me, I think look wise and ability wise he fits, but what he's been for the last year, I don't think fits. That's my only issue. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Also, they had things lined up for War Games, and Seth was a big part of that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with War Games in November. So, and that's a big show. That's there in San Diego at the baseball night. They've sold about 30,000 tickets already for that. No matches announced. Well, guys,
A whole big baseball full of disappointment.
yeah, that's all we have for tonight. We appreciate everybody watching. You guys got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No.
Everybody have a good night.
All right. Yes. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like, follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. And we will see you guys next Thursday.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on.